Sorry, I was thirsty.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Mashin Sentai Kiramager, the finale. I am
Oh,
Vashi V, and joining me today is.
right. Oh, this is the last Kiramager podcast. Uh, and stuff happened, so we didn't do it on our normal time. And so we rescheduled it for when we had time to watch the episode. But then things happened, so we're doing it now.
To explain away the events, we didn't get the episode as early as we had expected to. We didn't have it in time to do the podcast.
Yeah, so we're just waiting. We're gonna wait until the normal time, and then it, or rather, we rescheduled for a different day. But then that day didn't work out, and we scheduled
It,
again, and
and it didn't work because I 100% forgot we had to do the podcast.
in your defense, I was also running late. Excuse me.
Um, and then I 100% didn't almost forget we had one today, too.
See, so
Not even a
about
lie.
20 minutes ago, I look over and I saw you're playing Persona 4, and I thought, I should tag him now in case he forgets. Nah, I'll wait. And then 9:03. Okay, now.
Yeah, me and Pixie were ransacking, cleaning our house today, and then, like you said, I sat down and started playing Persona. I'm like,
As
shit.
soon as I saw that, I knew what would happen, but I thought I'd give you a chance. I figured I shouldn't tag him now. I should at least wait until it's time to tag him.
It honestly, it's not entirely that I forgot I had to do one. I didn't realize it was as late as it was,
That's fair.
which I should have because the start of that game is exceedingly slow.
Mm.
It borderlines on visual novel slow.
Well, yeah, that's basically what Persona is.
Oh, I know.
It's a visual novel JRPG.
Yeah, I'm just now getting to the
Like,
JRPG part. But Kira Major and this
right,
glorious.
Kiramager, this isn't a Persona podcast. Go to zero for that.
Yeah, somehow the Saber podcast will turn into one.
Anyways, so, Emperor Yodam. His only weak point is his head, his true face, hidden underneath the mask he wears. The first Jaman he ever created.
So can we go back and point out the fact that we were right.
That
We've been right
the
all along.
Jamins are straight up just the mask. Yeah, we were right.
Yeah, they're fucking betchats running around with the masks
The
on their head.
Jamins are literally just the mask. That's why they're called a whack-a-mole
Jumpman.
Jaman or
Yeah,
mannequin Jaman. It's literally the masks that matter.
like we made a joke about it earlier about like wanting to see like them getting their mask or doing
The
the
melee
Genki Ranger
thing.
thing. Yeah, where they're just gonna bribe them to get a better power. And like we didn't get it, so it's like, no, it is what it is. It's like, and then they're like, he points out that in these two episodes that it's just a mask. I was like, oh my god, we were right. We just didn't get the funny bit with it. So yeah, all this time they've literally just been betchats.
uh, As we talked about, Yodana's mask isn't actually broken though. She's still alive in there. But she is dying. She stays long enough to ask Master Yodam one last question. What was I to you? And his answer? My weakness. I was just a snake in the mud before I gained power. And when I did, my two other personalities were born. And you were one of them. I guess deep
So
inside, I wanted companionship. The thing I loathed the most.
so I realize this is very much the trope that is Sentai. For the love of God, can we eventually get a villain that understands like the power of having people help them?
Wasn't that Tokyuger?
That was about the closest we got. But
Uh,
even then, it wasn't so much of helping because it's more they were trying to do their own thing, and
the,
he wanted to do his own thing.
the problem is that anytime a villain actually does understand the power of allies and friendship, that one of those villains is bound to die next episode.
Right.
Like,
Either that or betray.
I didn't watch Go-Go 5, but I assume the same thing happened in Lightspeed Rescue, where two of the villains formed a close bond of friendship, and one of them immediately got owned.
The closest we got to it is I think the only one that ever worked out, and I'm pretty sure it
Oh,
worked out because it did. Goldar and Scorpina.
yeah, in the Sentai they were dating.
Yeah, I mean that they were dating in
Actually,
the
you
U.S.
know what?
version too.
That entire crew, Bandora's entire crew, was just basically a tight knit family.
Right, like it's that's about the only time we've really had that though.
Um,
I mean, well, no, you had the Machine Empire.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
they
that
were.
was literally a
Weren't they literally unfeeling machines, though? Wasn't that the point?
right, but they were still family.
Um, but did they feel anything for each other? But did
I
they,
don't.
did they value each other beyond seeing each other as tools?
I
I
mean,
didn't
in the
watch
Power Rangers version, yes.
Yeah, but O Ranger.
I don't know about O Ranger.
Um, but speaking of the Power Rangers version, God, what were their names? Gindrax and Toxica.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing too.
That's the only reason to watch Wild Force, if I'm being honest.
Um,
Those two were pretty much steal the show because without them, you just have a haphazard environmental message. You okay?
sorry, that was yeah. Um, but yeah, it's like we don't typically get the villains understanding needing help or having a group to assist. Which I get in pretty much the trope of Sentai in terms of the aspect of you know how dare you think you can win just because you have friends.
But yeah, like it's why I like villain loyalty so much because we don't get it. So when we do, it's awesome.
Right. It's like you said, it's like it's what made Tokuger awesome. Granted, yeah, initially it was for different reasons.
Right. But then once, like, you get the villains that start questioning why they're the villains in the first place, and it leads to such good storylines.
Like in Rio Soldier.
Yeah, the same thing happens in Ryu Soldier. Wiseru and Creon.
Right. Absolutely. It started with Creon and then shit went south for Wiseru and he started questioning it too.
And like they had an actual friendship by the end. Like for a while there was more of a master servant kind of thing, but like as it went on, like no, these guys became friends at some point.
Um I think the closest we've had to like a villain having an understanding aside from that was the long running Jealousito. Like honestly, he's the closest villain who literally went, no, this makes more sense. What the hell?
He's gonna be in Zenkaiger, I bet.
I hope to God he is.
Oh.
By the way, you need to watch that after we do this
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm going to bed after we do this podcast. I'll probably watch it on my break tomorrow, and then you can text me while I'm at work.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Uh, so back to Kiramager. Yeah. So yeah, Emperor Yodam hates friendship and companionship and anything like that. But as he grew in power, he bred those other personalities, which he suspects was just a deep-rooted desire for companionship. So we were talking about how the hunter became a part of him. Like, no, he was always a part of him.
Right. Like, because we just assumed that all of them were essentially Garuza. And it's like, no, no, no. These
No.
were born inside of him.
It's why Yodana never knew her true identity, because it was always.
Right.
And so, with her death, Yodam will finally abandon companionship to achieve his full potential, because he'll be throwing away his one weakness. And so Yodana dies happy that she can die in service to him.
Motherfuck. I am exceedingly irritated that she didn't get to stick around anyway.
I had a feeling she was going to be the one to die.
Oh, I did too, but nah, I much rather would have enjoyed seeing Yodana survive.
The Kiramager
I
use. Oh, go on.
I get why they killed her off and how it furthered, you know,
It,
Yodom's evilness and
right, and it would have been tough to save her and justify it.
right, like because that would have involved having to get inside Yodam, get her out. It would have been a whole thing.
So, the Kiramagers use their mechs to attack Yodam's head, trying to break the mask. He realizes their plan, but it doesn't work. The mask is unbreakable. And he uses his Yodam Destroyer to finish them off. And, as Carantula explained, the one time he takes off his mask is when he devours his fallen opponents. But as he does so, yes, Vashi?
Did you see this coming when Rangel explained it? Because I sure as hell did.
I didn't see exactly this coming, but I knew that they were going to bait him to take off the mask.
Like as soon as they went, yeah, I've got a plan, and they had explained that is like, oh yeah, yeah, no, no, this battle's about to be
I didn't
a lot
know.
of
I
bullshit.
didn't predict that they would use the illusion stone to make him think he won, so that they could just knock the mask out of his hand and take it away from him. But I knew that like their plan was to bait him to just take it off. But yeah, illusion stone. Uh, and so they've used 3 of the 4 stones this fight. They used the time stone to revert him to Yodana and the power stone to try and petrify him. The plan failed, so now they've used the illusion stone to trick him into taking off his mask, which they now took from him. So now they can use the destroying stone to finish him off. But
Not before the gloriousness.
not yet though. They still have a fight to win. Uh, and Takamichi Rider kicks him in the face with his mech, so like drill. uh, that was part of the fake out, but still, that was awesome.
Which is not the first time he's done it. I think it's the second time he's rider kicked somebody. It's just awesome every time he sees it. Every time you see it.
They send Yodam flying, and he reverts down to a human-sized form, so they can confront him on the ground. And Mabushina actually is the first one to confront him. Not in a fight though, just verbally, of like where he's giving his spiel about like I will destroy this world like I did Crystalia or whatever. She's like, you won't, because of them.
There is one thing I want to point out during that entire scene of her giving her spiel for each one. The fact that at no point did we see her swap out the floating Jolly Ranchers, but she did.
She did what?
In everyone when she's talking about that particular character.
Oh, she's holding them. Yeah,
she's holding them. Is like at no point are we seeing them move or anything else is like that. It's just like nope, in our hand every time.
Like, they are the shining warriors that will defeat your inhuman cruelty. Take a look upon their sparkling faces, and up walks the team, like in suit but unmasked. Like, we're about to kick your ass.
And then we get
the unmasked roll call, which we knew because it was in the preview. But still, what a hell of a roll call it is.
Not only did we get that, but we got the helmetless pose.
Yep, That's part of the roll call.
which for this particular series is much more awesome
Right.
because it's such an absurd pose.
But like it's been building up to this for so long. Like just seeing
Like
that the final recalls should always be amazing, and this one nailed it.
it doesn't surpass Rhea Soldiers for the aspect of, Rhea Soldier decided they just wanted to do
They
every
just did
final roll
all of
call.
them. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like, especially with like the pose and shit like that. It's like we started this series seeing that, going, what the absolute hell did we just watch?
And one thing I love about the helmetless roll calls, the unsuited ones do it too, but like the helmet ones work better for it, is because they still have the armor that they're going to be fighting in, but you see their actual faces. Like the final villain is literally looking upon the face of defeat.
I still like Hurricanegers.
What was Hurricanger's?
The out of suit roll call, and then they transformed.
Ah,
So they did the whole motions and everything.
yeah, the out of suit ones are also really good and get that same effect. And they have the added benefit of looking at the fact that like this is who's about to beat you. These humans are about to beat you. Look upon them
Um,
in their true form.
it's fucking glorious. Like, I went back and I watched a video of every final roll call since the inception. The fact that Hurricaneger was the first one to do anything different.
Really? Didn't Die Ranger have one?
No.
Huh, okay.
And then the next one that had anything was Magi Ranger.
Yeah, did they do helmetless?
I believe it was helmetless. No, it was out of suit and then they transformed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, that makes more sense. The capes.
Yeah. But it was just one of those things, like, I watched them and I'm like, the gap between when they decided to change up the formula to this is now going to be a thing is like 5 Sentai before they actually started doing them consistently. But yes, it's like, for me, it's like this particular henshin pose. It started out as absolute absurdity and has grown to just awesomeness.
Oh. So, Yodam isn't done yet. He summons a bunch of strong Betchats to protect him. And so the fight sequence is them taking out the Betchats while Mabushina idolizes each of the Kiramagers and points out their good points. And at first I thought, this section is going on a bit too long. But then I realized something that the writer probably did. As soon as that mask came off, this fight was won. So let's celebrate the heroes.
Right. And it's done really, really well. Um, her praising the Kira Majors for what they are good at and her feelings for them are amazing.
Like when they sent Yodam flying, like that was your big finisher. And now here's one more for good measure.
Um, I do love the fact that they also argue over the name of the bet chats again. I love that that was just a thing that happened.
While the others clear the way, Juru charges up Careful Arrow, and Cena charges in with Destroya. Yodam knocks it out of her hand, though, but that's where Tommy comes in. He anticipated this. Snipes the stone back into the line of fire. Juru fires the arrow through the stone, supercharging it, and right through Yodam.
Ah.
That's a hell of a way to take out the final boss.
Like, and it's rare. I think it's rarer now than it usually is, where this is the route that they take him out. It's usually still the mech finishers.
Yeah, mech finishers are more common than on ground ones because they usually do on ground and then in the
And
mech.
then
But this
right, and
show
this one just
flipped
did
it.
reverse. Right, because this show has done nothing but flip the entire show on its head to the point of just being a
There will
comedy of
I
making
don't
fun of
think
it.
there'll ever be another series like this one.
No, I don't. At least not for a while.
Was there a bad episode this series?
No, like there were some that were like in terms of like plot were just dumb, but
Not
it they
bad.
pulled it. No, they weren't bad.
Like
Like
even
it they
Lupin
pulled.
Ranger, we have that one episode that we was like, why does this episode exist?
Yeah, that we continuously somehow keep bringing up, even though we're not supposed to talk about it.
But this one, it's like I can't think of a single episode I didn't enjoy.
Right, like at least on some level. Like even if it got to a point where like oh, it's like it ends up being very samey.
Right, I feel like we've had par for the course episodes. Like, all right, this is just a standard Sentai episode, but they weren't bad.
No, it's like they and honestly, I feel it has to do with the actors. Like every single actor in there, to include Mabushina's voice actor and suit actor, like when they're doing the out of suit stuff, is what truly I feel truly sells the episode. Because this was a series that, while yes, more or less every episode was bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, and overall plot is like it still felt like there was downtime. So you got to see each of the characters being themselves. Like even in the par for the course ones, like they used those episodes for character development. It's like it led to fantastic cast.
And with Yodam's defeat, the first thing our heroes do is celebrate. This is something you don't see. Like usually the team will be like it's finally over and it'll like cut to like all right, now like the next day or like a few days later like no, immediately they all start jumping up like holy shit, it's over.
We did it! Like that instant celebration is nice.
oh. Oh,
Like I get the whole jump to the epilogue thing
it's
is like
such a joy to see this though.
like having that joy, or even if they do the whole like exhausted fall down, like we
like
finally did
like
it.
Mario, like in base, watching on TV, is like in tears of joy, and he falls over in his chair.
Like
oh,
it was absolutely amazing.
oh, like you just
And now we get
won. Celebrate that shit.
right.
Oh,
But now we get to the only little tidbit that I have an issue with,
what's up?
and that is the 3 months later.
Oh yeah, you wanted to see it happen instead of being told that it
Yes,
happened.
yes, and and honestly, I feel the having to tell us was pointless with the way they did this.
Uh, so yeah, 3 months later, the team you have virtual reality meetups every so often. And they're able to go you do this to go and visit pseudo visit Mabushina and Takamichi over on the newly reborn Crystalia.
Which they and that's what where my point is, like they flat out say that they're going to meet him at Cristalia. So you didn't need to tell us or give us the big spiel of them bringing it back. All they had to do is explain the it's back, but it's literally as if picked up right where it had left off. So people are kind of
So,
meh.
so tying up loose ends. Carantula, he is now teaching the Betchats art and creativity, and he promised Jiro that he will never attack Earth again.
Good job, Carantula.
Uh, Crystalia, it is restored. The king is still a bird. Garza is not back. Uh, but the people are still emotionally damaged from everything that happened. So Mabushina, who is now officially the queen, needs to kind of be their shining hope again.
I also like the fact that they brought out the fact that the queen's still a stone too.
Right? I was wondering
Just
when that
like
would come back.
because I like the whole thing. It's like yeah, they're kind of useless, but you know, the emotional support is nice.
Takamichi is living on Crystalia again. Uh, Juru. Uh, Juru connected with the king. He connected with Garuza. He has done all these incredible things that brought everyone together. Why was Juru so special as to be able to accomplish so much? Because he could. That is legitimate.
Most This is the most parody answer we've ever gotten.
At first, I was wondering why they were going on about this before I realized something. We already assumed that, like, oh yeah, Juru's Kiramental is just so strong he can already do this. But the reason why this is here is because of the trope that the red is special. There's
Special.
something great about them. Jewel Eagle, like he had Beastman's powers and life force bestowed upon him, or Rio Soul Red had his animalistic instinct that made him stronger and more ferocious than the others.
You know, or
Jurda
you get the you were literally chosen to be this.
or Shishi Red was the luckiest man in the universe. No, none of
No,
that.
no,
Juru what
because
Juru just had a strong amount of Kira Mental because he did. There's no special reasoning behind it. That's just who he is.
which I'm glad they went that route, and the way they did the explanation was funny too. Because it's one of those like you're sitting there expecting some big grand thing, like oh maybe
He's
you know
part
somehow
Crystallian,
you're
or
right. I thought that's where they were gonna go with it, and it's just a,
like, nope, it's a
nope.
coincidence. Even
Yeah,
Drew's just taken aback, like, that's your answer?
like this is an episode in a series where it makes fun of all of the tropes while using all of the tropes
Oh.
and using them well enough that even when they poke fun at it, it plays very well. So should we discuss the new
So,
monument on Crystalia?
so, uh, the Kiramager has inspired Mabushina to be the best that she can be and to shine as bright as she can. Because she's going to need to do that in order to inspire hope in the Crystalians in order to restore their faith. And to do that, she decided to create a monument to the Kiramagers who inspired her so much. Literally, she had them carved out of a mountain.
So congratulations, Crystalia now has a Mount Rushmore.
The five Kiramagers who protected, who saved the Earth and restored Crystalia by reuniting the four Kanayame stones. Takamichi got gypped.
Yes, he did. And the sad thing is, he's not the one who was upset.
Like, I get that he's already the prince or whatever, and already is held in high regard, but like,
Nah, his ass helped too.
he's the whole reason they were looking for the stones. Uh,
And then Blue's irritated that not as flattering as he really is.
eh, I'm sure it's fine. And the final plot point that gets resolved. Juru's girlfriend. She asked him to redraw her portrait. But he got hit with a flash of inspiration and ended up drawing something weird instead.
Because of course he did, and of course he did.
He drew the Zenkaiger team. And everyone's looking at it like, what is this? Did you connect to another world again?
At which point she chases him around.
Yeah, she pulls him out of the virtual reality zone to try and make him redraw her. Those two are going to be
I
all right.
oh yeah, like given so I've already watched episode 1 of Zenkaiger. This makes sense that he did this.
Right, like not only does it work as like a promo of like look forward to the next team, but also it's going to tie in with Zenkaiger's plot.
Right. Like it literally well of course he connected to another world. It's what he does. So of course he connected to, Zenkaiger's world, which I'm sure will play off into the movie. It may not play into the like actual episode to episode plot, but it'll definitely play into the movie.
Uh,
And then we get that handoff that we get every year.
yeah, Zenkai is like thinks that they're about to throw hands, so he's ready to throw a punch. But then Jiru's just like, "Nah, man,
No.
good luck out there." And Zenkai goes, "Oh yeah, great, got it."
I love the fact he ended with a "you're making right in your face." Also, this is one of the few times where the handoff wasn't to a red.
Right, because the leader this
They're
time isn't red; it's white.
I mean, when it handed over to Lupin Ranger, it was, handed over to both.
Right, they were fighting each other, and Lucky was just caught between them. Like, wait, what's going on? What?
And then the handoff to Rio Soldier was Lupin Red, and then he was being chased by Keiichiro.
Right, and Ko's just standing there like,
What the
that
hell
guy's
just
got his own stuff going on.
happened? No, like overall, like this was a series that we were highly questionable about to start, especially once we got a handful of episodes into it, and it was just off the wall.
But, like, it grew on us so quickly.
Like we expected this show to be at such a disadvantage coming off of Lupin Ranger and Rio Soldier, going into something that was such clearly a parody.
And yet, it is amazing. I might like it more than either of the other two.
Rio Soldier's still my standout because I'm sorry, Krion is like the best
I
character
I
ever.
don't know if I could rank them right now. I need like give me like 3 years and maybe I can figure it out.
In 3 years and rewatching them twice, just don't watch them back to back. Um, but also seeing how the actors have grown over the course of this series. And in
Yeah,
the case of and in the case of Pink, seeing how far she's come from playing Canon.
and like Mabushina, when she's talking about other good points, I loved that she pointed out how far Jiro has come. It's like, yeah, you know what? He was weird at first. He was shy and reserved, and he was that weird kid in school that you didn't really talk to. But like, no, he's confident. He's strong. Like he's outgoing now. He really
Like
came into his own be through the team.
right, they did a great job of pointing out the character growth for each one, and reiterating what made them special and unique
And
in their own right.
I like that at the very end they get in one more jab about Tametono not having a girlfriend.
Yeah, they do. That was great. But like seeing how far some of these people have come as actors, just and we have this every year. Like 90% of this cast is new to acting because that's just how Sentai and Rider usually does it. They usually have like one or two veteran people in at least for like mentor people or to play.
Garuza's voice actor was a veteran.
Right. And then we have Canon, who is a veteran from Rider. So we have somewhat veteran actors series to series, like, but for the most part, the entirety of the cast is new people. So
Uh,
seeing them go from, you know, borderline no acting ability or very little enough to, you know, break to be at least a breakout to being as good as they are by the end of the show is always fantastic.
And to address something, I was wrong about Yodana. She did not laugh in her final moments. She did, however, smile, and I consider that a win.
I will accept that too. Um, and
Uh,
I will give her credit for her rationale when he did the whole like so 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 laugh because you've won and she goes no I can't do that
and like
and
the
she continues to cry. It's like that was fantastic.
and like one of her plot points was trying to understand human emotion because she didn't get it, and so she never like smiled. She was always frowning or looking pissed off. And whenever she did smile, it was her trying to understand, like, is this the appropriate time to laugh? But
And
no,
it never was.
in the end, she gave a genuine smile because with her death, she would be the most useful to her master.
Speaking of her master, I do want to comment. I am a little disappointed in his design.
When he called himself a snake, I didn't realize he literally meant he was a snake.
Right. He looks much better with the mask on.
I didn't realize he was a Gorgon, and I don't get it. Like, I know that this has a lot of similarities to Norse mythology, but I don't get where the snake comes in.
I don't either. Like I get the whole, the mask made me feel powerful and all that. So great, fantastic. The mask is intimidating, and he himself was not. So yeah, it fits with the story we have and all that. It's like, but no, I could have been, I could have been quite okay with never seeing what he actually looked like.
Yeah, it could just be that like there is like a subtle meaning to it that's not that important. All right, Kiramager. That was a fucking trip right there.
So yeah, there is a giant snake in Norse mythology.
What is it?
Um, Normondiger.
I
That's the closest I can pronounce it because
I only
yeah,
know like four like Norse mythology names.
the pretty much they're I'm pretty sure they're all in the Thor movie, aren't they?
No, I mean most of them are. You got Thor, Loki, Odin, uh, but also Fenrir the wolf, and
Which is also in
I guess Yggdrasil if you want to count the tree.
yeah. And to be fair, Fenrir was in the movie too.
I only watched Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, Fenrir's the wolf.
There was a wolf in that
That
movie.
yes, Hela wakes it up.
I literally don't remember that. That
Yeah,
movie was like
very
a
weird.
fever dream.
Yeah, it was a very good fever dream, but yes, fever dream.
Yeah, like first like 5 minutes, you know the scene I'm talking about. I turned to my friend like, "Wait, I haven't seen the first two movies. Is Thor just a parody of himself?"
Yeah, pretty much. He's gotten bored. Is the problem? He is bored. Um, well, yeah, it's the end of a fantastic series. We get to see where it continues.
Yeah, I thought that Zenkaiger would have a difficult start coming off of the tail end of this, but
I will admit it's not the best start to one,
I mean, what show has like a really solid start? Like they're always a little bit rough.
but this is a decent enough one where that you can tell okay they know what they're doing and what they're going for. And yes, 100% this is Gokaiger season 2. I don't care what anybody says. I watch this episode, you'll understand.
There's now an invisible timer until the toy scans spoil it for us. So get your bets in now. What's the six going to be? What color and what theme?
That's going to be the problem because there's so much that they could do.
They are
The
already covered
primary issue, they've covered vehicles, they've covered dinosaurs, they've covered
nature
um,
and
nature
magic and
and magic.
Showa era.
So what's not covered?
Or rather, no, sorry, fuck. Not Showa era. He's additional members, isn't he? Because
Yeah,
he's Big
the big
One and
one.
and Dragon Ranger. I keep making that mistake because of his suit
Yeah.
design.
So, what's not covered? Origami?
I mean, the Showa era did have that string of like Bioman, Changeman, Maskman, where they were just kind of like machine themed in a way. Not strictly that, but it was like very generic suit designs.
Yeah.
Like they didn't like they started to follow like an animalistic pattern later on with like Five Man and such, but like they just had very like simplistic designs. Like Dynaman, like they're just wearing like leotards.
And then you have Battle Fever.
Okay, Battle Fever, that is a fever dream.
God, I went back and watched a final roll call for that. It's like, what the fuck was this?
Battle Japan, Battle Kozak, Battle
Kenya.
France, Battle Kenya, Miss America. It's like this is the one that started the giant robots. Why is this the one that started the giant
Started the giant
robots?
robot. But yeah, it's like it just comes down to what's not covered by what we already have.
uh, ninjas, which would be a weird one. But if they went silver for it, I could kind of see it. Um, we did have a gold ninja in the past, so I could see another gold ninja. But uh, if they're going to, I could see gold being more likely for this series. Because we just got silver, so gold is more likely to happen than two
You know
silver
what
in a
would
row.
you want to know what would be a good addition given the fact that this covers past Sentai?
What's up?
Let it be a ninja and let it be green.
That actually would be good. We've gotten two green six, so you've got Dragon Ranger plus Shurikenger. So a
Right.
green ninja would actually be a really solid choice.
And you can give him a robot body that is similar to,
Ninja Man,
you know, no, the fox.
the
Kitsune from Ninja.
Kyoamon.
Yeah, Kirama. Considering the fact that, that is the Green Ranger.
Oh yeah. Okay, so a green ninja would actually be the best choice for this kind of thing.
I'm still going to go with the fact that it's going to be gold or silver.
Yeah, because
Because,
those sell.
right.
Sell toys.
Which is
But
perfect. So,
ideally, green ninja. But if they're gonna go with gold or silver, silver I could still see being a ninja, but like I don't know, like I don't think gold. Like I know we
if
got a
they
gold ninja
do,
before, but
if they don't go ninja, I have a feeling they're going to go flying vehicle
oh yeah,
because everything else is ground except for pink.
yeah, go avian. Um,
There have been a lot of birds and cranes and planes, dragons.
uh,
Um,
So, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Sorry that it took us so long to do this. We'll be back on Tuesday for our official Zenkaiger podcast.
Which y'all gonna have to actually look up the actual name of that show.
Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger.
That's right, Kikai. For some reason, for the life of me, I could not remember it, and I watched the episode where
They're machines, so it's machine.
I know, and they say Kinkanoid a lot.
I'm still happy that when we got the name, I was actually able to figure out what it was.
Yeah, you were 100% right on with that.
Machine Sentai Full Throttle.
100% that's entirely accurate. So,
The I wasn't sure about it because the kanji that didn't exactly line up with what I was looking at, but I'm pleasantly surprised that it was entirely correct.
um, so yeah, we get to start that show for, another 45 weeks. Plus some weeks where we don't get episodes because that's always a thing.
Golf week and
Golden
the
Week and
Olympics got delayed, so if they do that, then
yeah, that's definitely going to supersede anything.
uh,
It's weird that it's still the 2020 Olympics. Because why change the number?
I mean, they already put out all the promotion. Mario
I
Sonic
know.
at the 2020 Olympics Games is already on shelves.
Right. But yeah, so we'll be back next week.
All right. See you next time.
Adios.